Welcome back to part 2 of Up From Depression. And now it's time for some reprogramming. Never listen to this portion of the program while driving a moving vehicle, as it may bring on sleep. You can listen to this portion while lying down before drifting asleep, or while sitting. If lying down, lie on your back with both arms along your side, palms facing upward. If seated, please loosen tight belts and clothing. Remove any gum or lozenges from your mouth that could pose a choking hazard. Sit relatively straight in the chair so your spine is not stressed. Avoid folding your arms and legs, which could block circulation. Sit with feet flat upon the floor so that there is equal pressure on the ball of your foot and the heel of your foot. If you wear glasses, you may want to remove them. You may also want to turn off your phone during this time. In the event of an emergency, all you need to do is mentally count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, open your eyes, and you respond relaxed and effectively. In the background are subliminal suggestions. They are, I can let it go. I can move beyond it. I creatively see it from a different perspective. I can learn from it. I can profit somehow from it. And I'd like to forget what it feels like. Good. Now take in a long, slow, deep breath. Open your mouth as you exhale, close your eyes, and relax to whatever degree that you can. At all times during this experience, you will be aware of sounds and noises going on around you, and they will matter little, if any, at all. Any time that you wish, you can move or shift about. For instance, if your nose itches, go ahead and scratch it, and slowly let your hand and arm return to its original position as you imagine yourself going deeper and deeper into relaxation. You may also notice that you will have your own thoughts, that your mind may wander. Whenever you notice your mind wandering, let the thoughts be like a log floating down a river. You notice a log coming to view, and you let it float by, out of view, without resisting it, as you get back to the sound of my voice. And when I say the sound of my voice, avoid trying to remember the suggestions. The first part of this recording was for your conscious mind. We looked at the importance of your eating habits, making sure that what you eat keeps you from hypoglycemic reactions or the formation of Candida albicans. And we also looked at the importance of keeping an eating diary to identify any possible food allergies that may have been contributing to your state of mind. We looked at eating foods that are rich in tryptophan, such as eggs, chicken, turkey, to enhance the production of serotonin. We also noticed that taking extra magnesium, vitamin D, and a complex of all the B vitamins, in addition to a multiple vitamin, will aid in the production of serotonin from tryptophan and or improve the effects of any serotonin-producing medications that you are using. We also looked at adding 5-hydroxytryptophan, 5-HTP, to your nutritional regime, as it's important in the conversion of tryptophan to serotonin. And now this part of the program is for your subconscious mind. Give yourself permission to take a brief vacation from your difficulties. Sure, they will be there later when you've opened your eyes, but you may find that your perceptions of them are changing. And each and every time you listen to these suggestions, you gain a better understanding of the process with improved perceptions. Let's begin with relaxing your physical body, starting with all of your toes and both feet. 26 bones in each foot connected by an array of muscle tissue and fibers, all going loose and limp as you begin letting go. Permit the relaxation to spread upward to muscles in the calves of both legs. Maybe like 100 stretched rubber bands going loose and limp. Let the relaxation continue upward through both knees into your upper leg muscle. Perhaps like 500 stretched rubber bands going limp and loose like rope. Breathe slowly now and deeply, inhaling deep into your abdomen as you let the relaxation continue upward into the trunk of your body. buttocks relaxing, genitalia relaxing, every organ and system letting go, abdomen and stomach relaxing. Let all of your mental tensions, fears, feelings of loss of purpose, confusions, the lack of motivation, all of this from every cell of your body flowing downward through your legs and away from your toes. Give yourself permission to let all of these confusions go. Let the relaxation continue into the base of your spinal column, and let it spread inch by inch and vertebrae by vertebrae upward throughout your back as you just let go. And now let your chest relax as you breathe deeply. But instead of breathing into your chest, breathe through your chest and downward into your abdomen. As you breathe, breathe in relaxation and exhale tensions. Imagine you can breathe in a new perspective and exhale your old perspective. Breathe in clarity and exhale confusion. Breathe in motivation and exhale lethargy. Breathe in inspiration. Exhale sluggishness and weariness. Now let the relaxation continue outward through both arms to the extremities of each and every finger and thumb. Arms loose like rope. Let your shoulders now relax as the relaxation continues upward through your neck and into your head. Mouth the word Boston, and where your tongue ends up on the last syllable is the most relaxed position for your tongue, with your teeth slightly separated. If you have opened your eyes, let them close and relax. Let the relaxation spread throughout all your scalp muscles and even the little muscles around your ears. Good. Every muscle, fiber, and cell in your body is relaxing. As you relax, you may be experiencing feelings and sensations that are a bit different than you're normally accustomed. Some, as they relax, notice that with relaxation, their arms and legs become heavy. Heavy like lead or concrete, or like a limp, heavy towel, or like a rag doll. Whereas others feel light and floating, wispy as a cloud, feathery. Sometimes one might feel light and floating as I speak of light and floaty feelings, and then a few moments later feel heavy and dense as I speak of those feelings, just like they'd sink through to china if the chair or bed weren't beneath them. Characteristically, though, each person feels some degree of heaviness or some degree of lightness. Whichever it might be for you, enjoy the feelings. I've asked you to close your eyes, for it will facilitate your imagination and relaxation, and you'll gain more from an experience of this nature with your eyes closed. With practice, you could, if you wanted, listen to this portion of the recording with your eyes open and continue being responsive and gain value from the suggestions. As you relax, you may also begin experiencing some other interesting feelings and sensations. For instance, you may notice your eyes fluttering. If this is happening, it's simply because your eye muscles have become so relaxed that your eyes begin floating involuntarily into sockets. It's a good sign of relaxation. Some notice that they secrete more saliva. This too happens as your salivary gland becomes more active as you relax. It might seem like you have your own water fountain going on. Simply go ahead and swallow and you'll be free of it interrupting your relaxation. Then other people, as they relax, notice tingly feelings in their fingers and toes. And these tingly feelings in time may grow into a dull, comfortable, numb feeling. So dull, so comfortable, so numb, that at times you might not know where your arms are or where your legs are, and it just wouldn't matter as you just let go. On the other hand, at times it might seem as though you are just sitting there listening to the sound of my voice, and yet feel fully relaxed, peaceful, and tranquil. Primary purpose is to avoid trying to relax, but simply let whatever happens happen as it happens. Each and every time you listen to this recording, you go deeper and you become more and more responsive to the suggestions. You may be surprised that just by permitting things to happen, that they do happen, and that's the way life is. When we go through life trying to control things, trying to make things work out a certain way, we often find that the harder we try to do something, the more difficult it becomes. If you try to relax, you might actually keep yourself from getting relaxed. Remember, our primary goal is to let whatever happens happen as it happens. Life certainly has had its disappointments for you, and it's time that we begin putting them in a healthy, mental perspective. Remember from the earlier tracks in this program that the feelings of depression are as a result of one or more situational disappointments or an unresolved conflict. Each and every time you listen to this program, you will be moving beyond the situational disappointments and gaining more and more insight to any possible unresolved conflicts, so that before you know it, you'll remember that you used to feel depressed but have forgotten what it felt like. Of course, the most important thing is to stop avoiding or resisting the feeling. It's a normal feeling for someone who has had a string of disappointments, at which time it's easy to come to a conclusion that there's little to live for. But just as a beautiful flower in a garden never turns from the sun, its life force, or questions its purpose, you will likewise move beyond questions of purpose. The main mistake we make is for a variety of reasons we resist feeling the emotion. Yes, in the past you might have believed that if you allowed yourself to feel depressed, you'd be the bad apple in the barrel, or that no one would want to be around you, or that depression is a sign of weakness. You now know that these are only arbitrary beliefs that you've acquired, and they only serve to keep you from feeling the emotion. Truth is that if your friends knew you were even slightly depressed, they'd be there to support you and even share their own experiences they've had with depression. The other mistake we make is that we wallow in depression, telling everyone we have the right to feel that way because of some terrible loss or impending doom. In either event, the normal flow of energy through our bodies is interrupted. Truth is that when you allow yourself to feel the emotion of depression, it disappears, as it's much like the period at the end of the sentence. Remember, Mr. Depression loves to have fun, so the more you resist him or wallow in it, the more fun he has. Of course, we don't expect that feeling the feeling of depression will be pleasant. It's more like holding black, cold mud in your hand, certainly an unpleasant feeling. And of course you have beliefs that you've acquired since childhood about why you shouldn't feel depression. It's not good for you. No one will want to be around you. You'll be the bad apple in the barrel. It feels terrible. It's a lousy feeling. Notice any others that you may have written down in the earlier part of this program. One might be that there are so many people with so much less than you have, or are in a worse situation, so you should feel guilty for having the feeling of being depressed. Or one might be that you're still so young and have your whole life ahead of you. Notice that they are only arbitrary beliefs. Arbitrary in the sense that someone else who has the same difficulty has a different set of beliefs. These are only beliefs that your intelligence has acquired. Actually, the fact is that they only serve to stand in the way of you truly feeling and experiencing the emotion. Rather than make yourself wrong for having these beliefs, simply thank your intelligence, just as you would a good friend, for doing the best that it presently knows how. Tell your intelligence that you prefer to really feel the feeling, for you know that when you really feel it and experience it, it disappears. It's like the period at the end of the sentence. And I suggest to you that your sentence has been long enough, and that your creative intelligence can now shorten the sentence. The secret is that as you are feeling the feeling, that you provide direction for your subconscious intelligence in the form of preference option statements. 1. I prefer to let it go. Or 2. I prefer to move beyond it. Or 3. I creatively prefer to see my situation from a different perspective. Or 4. I prefer to somehow benefit from the experience. Or 5. I'd like to forget what it feels like. As you use one or more of these preference option statements and allow you to feel the feeling, your creative intelligence will be in the process of making them come true. If Mr. Depression has been situationally created, Your creative intelligence moves towards being grateful for whatever it is that you have in your life, and you accept the worst possible outcome and plan accordingly. It is a known fact that most of those who have made it to millionaire status have at some time or another gone bankrupt or lived in squalor, and it's also known that many who were millionaires have lost their fortunes, and yet by going through the process of loss were able to regain their fortunes. If the depression has been created from loss of someone special in your life, it's normal that you have defined you based on that relationship. The loss of that person was like losing a part of you. Give yourself permission to move through the grief as opposed to wallowing or being stuck in it. As you move through the grief, and this can be for any loss or disappointment, you rebirth the portion of you that was lost. And as such, you become open to redefining you. The preference option statements take you to new activities that may include new activities in your life, old relationships renewed, new relationships, newfound interest in clubs, Match.com, and the like. If the depression has been conflict created, by listening to the examples in the earlier part of this recording, your creative unconscious begins to unravel your conflicts. And as you practice communicating your conflict with whomever it is rooted, you'll notice Mr. Depression taking a hike from your life. As a sponge absorbs water, your creative intelligence is absorbing these suggestions. Both your mind and body are receiving the maximum benefit of any medications you're taking, adjustments in your diet, and supplements to boost production of serotonin, such that soon and soon indeed you may have forgotten what it felt like. Oh, you'll remember you had the feeling, but forget what it felt like. If you're listening to this recording before bedtime, at the count of 5, you'll drift into a pleasant state of sleep, your dreams being your stage of life. A stage where your dreams may provide you some insights to any conflicts that you have. Remember, they are your conflicts, and you are simply rooting out any crossed wires in your subconscious. So your conscious and subconscious will be glad to root them out. If you're listening to this portion of the recording during the day, at the count of 5, you'll open your eyes feeling refreshed, relaxed, and at ease. 1, bring the energies in through your toes. 2, bring them higher and higher into your body. 3, remember your surroundings, where the furniture is, and so on. 4, taking in a long, slow, deep breath now. And 5, either opening your eyes feeling energized or drifting off to a pleasant, deep, sound, restful sleep, awakening refreshed and alert in the morning.